Hello and welcome back to another video in my Unreal Engine 5 series about how to recreate Max Caulfield's time reversal power from Life is Strange. The last video we already got something working. We got a nice little train here, stylistic train running on the table, and if we press the time reverse button, the time is going to be reversed and the train runs backwards. Yeah, that was very nice, but how we implemented this just works for deterministic simulations like this, always deterministic and predictable moving train. In this video today we're going to refactor our codebase a bit and make it a bit more elegant and a bit more flexible, and then we're going to tackle the issue of starting to code non-deterministic time reversals. So stay tuned. So alright, so first thing that I want to do is I want to do a bit of refactoring. Why is that? Well, first of all, the character requires at the where did we have this? Okay, we didn't have this in the character, we had this in the game mode. In the game mode we were basically searching for a time manager, and then we would kind of like attach this to our actor. So we try to get our character and then we attach the time manager, but this is not elegant. We basically want to have a time manager available by our game mode, and then we want to have different ways to actually reach out at that. And to do this, we're gonna create ourselves a new game mode. We already have one in here, the time power game mode base. I did not wanna use that one. We're gonna create a new C++ class for that, and I wanna do a game mode base here, and the name is gonna be the time reversal game mode. Or how did they actually call the other one? I do want to call this time reversal game mode. Okay, so let's create this game mode class, and let me quickly zoom in again. Okay, so now we have this new game mode in place, and let's reload the solution. So here's our new game mode, and the other one we're gonna delete this as soon as we don't have any references to that. I don't need the other time power game mode base. I just needed the time reversal game mode. And yeah, what does this game mode gonna do? Well, first of all, this game mode does need to include our time manager itself. So the time manager needs to be inside of here. Come on, can you not include this time manager.h? So no autocomplete, maybe because Visual Assist is still busy. Yeah, it's still busy. Now it's ready. Now it should have autocomplete. But yeah, so we're gonna have a private time manager, a pointer, so an actor time manager, which is our time manager. So this is gonna be a property, and it's gonna be a blueprint. Actually, this is gonna be public, even though I really hate to make this public. Or can we do this protected and then just expose it for blueprints? Not quite sure. Oh, we're just gonna have this protected. Blueprint read only. We're just gonna have this here as protected, and so that we can basically have a function to receive the time manager. It would be nice to be able to do this automatically, but yeah, just gonna have this as null pointer. We're gonna have a public function here. The public function is gonna be a time manager pointer, get time manager, and yeah, that's the function, and this is a U function. We want to have this blueprint callable to be able to call this from blueprints. So get time manager, and the implementation is quite trivial. We're just gonna return the time manager. But I do want to have some. Do I want to have some error checking in here? Probably yes. So if not time manager, I do want to print some log. UE5 print a log. So that's actually just a UE log macro. Looks like it. Log temp. Okay, yeah, because it's just a temporary log. We don't need this to be somewhere else, and this is a warning. Yeah, probably a warning is enough, and then we use the text macro to display text. Does it work like that? Yeah. Alright, so this is good. So we just want to have this something like that. I think it should be good. And what we want to write here is try to... Actually, this is an error. This is not a warning. This is an error because the time manager should be in existence as soon as we're trying to get it. Try to call get time manager before it existed, so that we get errors while playing editor if we have that. So this is basically just gonna be a check that time manager is valid, because normally on begin play the objects are going to try to receive an instance to the time manager, and by the time begin play is called we should already have generated our time manager. So let's add a comment here, get the global managing time manager. Right, just like that. Global managing time manager. Now let's try to implement a virtual method. I'm not quite sure which one that was. There was something. I think it was it init game state. I think yes. Or was it init game state? Alright, so init game might be the thing that we're looking for. Init game. Do we have it? Init game. Oh yeah, but this is it really that one? Map name? Okay, so let's try to do this in init game. If it doesn't work, we can always change it. So I do want to have these overridable functions in its own block, just for a bit of managing the code base. It's like redundant, but call before actor initialization. Is that the right one? I'm not quite sure if we can already spawn something. Initializations. I hope we can call this before. I am not quite sure of that. Info. Let's also move this up here. And instead of throwing something, we want to actually implement something here. So we want to spawn actor. So okay, spawning actor is quite a while that I've done that. Let me actually get my reference up for that. Alright, so spawning is done by calling this nice little thing that I've just stealed. So a time manager static class is just gonna be that where we're gonna spawn it. Can we spawn without a position? That's a big question. Okay. Okay, so we need to cast this to a actor. Okay, it was not cast, it was just cast. Yeah, just cast is enough. So this should init the time manager, and if this is not a thing, so if not time manager, we do wanna UE log. Log. Actually, we can do log to file. Let's just do it log temp for starters, just to be sure that everything is good. And then they're gonna say failed to create time manager. Something like that. Let's hope this is all working. Okay, no, we need to do this as in the text macro because we are using white strings on Unreal Engine. So text is just a bit of more safely to automatically generate white or narrow string. Or is it actually? No, it's cast. Whatever it's doing. I think this text macro is actually from Windows. But yeah. Let's see if this works. So this game mode is now in here, and this basically is now generating a exposable time manager. So let's try to recompile and hope nothing blows up. Which can probably be there. Did it blows up? No, it didn't blow up. That's good. And now let's try to alter our game mode here. Now, currently this is the BP. Could I go in here and maybe select a different parent class without changing this? Yeah, looks like it. So time reversal game mode. That is the class that we want to do. So yes, now we're going to select reparent, and this worked without an issue. But now instead of get actor of class to get the time manager, we are just going to get the time manager by get time manager. So we have a function and the property. Here we can just take the property because this is our parent. We are the parent, so we can just take the time manager from our parent and set this to the character instead of doing this fancy search. And one more thing that we are now going to do, instead of the level, we are going to remove our time manager. Now this revolves to also changing how our train works, because this needed this active time manager. So inside of the train, we gonna go to the active time manager and we remove it to be instance edible, so that it's gonna go away from here. Should be away from here. Not yet. Do we need to reload this somehow? However, this should now at some point be at some point it should disappear. Not quite sure why it's still in here, because actually, yeah, maybe because I didn't compile it yet. Yeah, because I didn't compile it. So now the time manager is away. Now we want to have the event begin play, and what I want to do is get game mode to get our game mode, and I want to cast this to time reversal game mode. And in case this is a time reversal game mode, I want to get the time manager, and then I want to set the time manager. This now looks a bit complicated, and we're going to have some helper component that is going to do this in a second, but for now, to just check that everything is working, I'm going to do this like that. And this should now set the, I mean, it's taking a bit longer on begin play, but this should hopefully now, yeah, still everything is working. So this worked out without any issues. You can see the train is moving. If I press my time power, it is going backwards. If I shift 11 out of that, you can actually see that we should have a time manager spawned here. Yeah, there is our time manager. You can see it's yellow because it has been spawned dynamically, or I'm not quite sure if yellow means dynamically or yellow just means by our game mode. I think it's probably by game mode, but I'm not quite sure of that. And this is all good. Now we're gonna take this one step further. In the BP game mode, we are completely gonna remove that. Don't need anything in here. And now in our character, we can do the same thing at begin play. We just wanna get game mode, cast to time reversal game mode, and then we wanna get the time manager, and we wanna set the time manager. So event begin play. Let's do this like that, and let's give this also a comment box. And let's call this acquire time manager. So this works quite well. Let's now actually go in and make this as a component. So when we have this as a component, this is going to be a bit easier to use, so we don't actually need this, because the component in C++ will do all that acquiring time manager stuff, and we're just gonna have a time manager in the component that we can use on demand, so that we don't need this always. So we're gonna have a static component in there. Before we do this, I reckon that we had something wrong in our game mode, and actually our time power game mode base. No, we don't want to remove them. We want to come on, can I open this in? Okay, let me quickly open up the Windows Explorer of our project, and let's quickly delete the old game mode that was auto-generated in source time power game mode base. This is something that we don't need anymore, so we can delete this. Okay, now let's go back to our time manager, actually in the header. And here I had them at blueprint read write, but I also want to have this added anywhere. This is something that I missed last time. I want to be able to basically set them everywhere, and I also want to make them public so that I also can access this via C++, because this might be edited by a class instance. So before we're gonna do this, let's quickly see that everything still works. When we compile this by removing this class, we should have an issue because we reparented the other one. So hopefully this is all good. Live coding succeeded, still no issues. Time power is still working. I think we didn't even check that the last change that we made worked, but it works. So this gives us a bit more easy control. Now let's create a new class. So let's go here in my C++ classes, time manager, time power game mode base. This one is actually deleted. I'm not quite sure why it doesn't reflect that. Can we not refresh this? Refresh. Okay, I don't care. It's gonna refresh at least if I restart the editor. I don't care. So let's create a new C++ class. In this case, we want to do a actor component, not a scene component, a plain actor component. And we want to call this time reverse time component. So the reverse time component is going to be the component that's going to provide the reverse time ability for all of the code that we're going to do from now on. The reverse time component. So now let's create a class. And let's wait until this is done. Zoom in again. And we should have it here. If we reload, we should have it in here. Alright, so first of all, the tick. We are probably gonna need tick here, but I do remove it yet. Set this to false just to make the class a bit more simpler. I'm not gonna have something in here that I don't need currently. As soon as we need it, we're gonna bring it in. So now let's actually create let's create a property here. So we're gonna have a time manager here. Okay, no. First of all, we need to have includes. So I do want to include my time reversal game mode. There it is. And I do want to have a time manager pointer, which is be included by the other file. So this should work. But we could also try to include this to be a bit more clean. Time manager.h. So a time manager pointer, and this is gonna be the time manager again, and it's gonna just be null pointer. Your property blueprint read only, because this shall never be changed. This just shall be read. So the time manager here, null pointer. And the begin play, is it really protected? Yeah, maybe. Protected, begin protected, maybe like that, because I like to have my properties always done here. So begin play is now responsible to basically to get the game mode and cast it and do all stuff that we wanna see. So let's get the game mode in C++. So it seems that it is in... Is that right? Is it in U? Gameplay statistics. Gameplay statistics. And we want to get the game mode. And this needs a word context, so get word. Is that really required to do as complicated? Do we not just have the option to get the game mode? No, is it really that hard? So can't we do this simple? I really don't like that, but it seems like this is the way to do, so we're gonna try to do this. So cast. I'm gonna try to cast this game mode to the reverse time game mode. How was it called? A time reversal game mode. Okay. So a time reversible game mode is going to be equal to that. So we're going to get the time manager, And if game mode is existing, we're gonna call the get time manager. Do we have this as a function? Yeah, okay. Then all good. If this is like that. So okay, we're gonna get the time manager here, and we're gonna assign our time manager to be equal to the get time manager here to retrieve this. And oh, I didn't want to delete that one. I'm gonna do some error checking. So if not time manager, then we're just gonna have a warning. We log temp warning, and we're just gonna say, okay, still have my logging example here. Okay, logging, we can do logging with formatted strings. So this is important. We can actually do this. We can just say this get name basically. Okay, so as easy as that. So we want to say actor percentage S should be for string. Yeah, actor, maybe like something like that. Fail to receive global time manager. This could be because of numerous reason. Receive global time manager. Okay, this looks good. Let's now see how this compiles and if it's working. So let's go to our Unreal Engine. Let's hit the hot reload. And let's see. Okay, we got a build failed. A time manager. Okay, yeah, this is a typo. Time manager, like that. Let's recompile. And let's see. This should work now, hopefully. Compiling build failed. What? Okay, so we don't have the include for... Okay, yeah, okay, we have two issues. I forgot the text macro at the logging again. So that one is missing, and the include for the U gameplay statistics is missing. So the include is that one, hashtag include whatever. I always copy this from the doc. This is amazing that Unreal provide this. This is in the Kismet library, which is something I personally think that I would like to avoid on my C++ code, at least if I'm not interacting with Kismet, but yeah. Okay, so this is some issue that I need to track down. Is that the wrong type? This seems like template issues are always like wrong type. So get name, what is get name? Peek the definition. Hopefully we find it. Okay, so it's an F text. So we might need to get actually the C++ underlying text, which is probably why they dereference that in the example that I was looking up here. So let's try if with dereferencing this works. Okay, so I cannot do this. So dereferencing means make C++ shit out of that. Okay, so now let's try to make the train fancy by removing all of that. Going into the viewport, collapsing that, adding a component, and now I want to add the time, reverse time component. And this should now have a reference. Reverse time is the component, which basically means that this actor can reverse the time. And now instead of having this time manager here, we're gonna delete that active time manager. We don't need it. We are gonna use it here. And how we're gonna do this? Components, come on, components here, reverse time. And we should be able to get this component, and from that we would get the time manager, and that we want to plug in here. So something like that. It's a bit long, but it should be good. So all of that is now basically done like instead of here. So let's maybe make this a bit more compact. So now we're basically getting the time manager like that. and hopefully if everything works correctly, this should still work, but be a bit more easy for us. And also we are gonna, in this video, or maybe this is already taking quite long, maybe I'm just do some refactoring today, but what we're gonna do here at some point is we basically gonna put all functionality that is required also for non-deterministic objects. This is all gonna go in inside of the component, inside of our reverse time component. And did I just call this really reverse time? I called it reverse time component. Okay, it's stripped the component off. Okay, yeah, that is what Unreal did. Okay, but this is just gonna be quite more easy because like all of the code is gonna be factored out here. Let's repeat this for the character. Let's delete. Okay, if I delete the comment box, it's not deleting the input in there, sadly. So let's add this one here as well. So reverse time component. Let's add that one in here. Let's go to the event graph, and where did I? Okay, here you go for the time manager. So the time manager is going to be deleted, and what we want to do is we want to get it and get the time manager here. Reverse time manager here and here. And this should now also work. So if I now would hit play, everything still comes together in one piece, still doing not more than we have done last video, but it's quite more fancy and actually more flexible. We don't need to manually link them all together. Inside of our properties, we are not something that we can forget here. We don't need to make sure that every level has the time manager. We just need to make sure that our game mode is based on that time manager game mode, the time reversal game mode. So if we're building game mode hierarchy, the base game mode will no longer be the basic Unreal game mode. We would always build on top of our reverse game mode, time reversal game mode. So it's called like that.